Hi, friends. Good evening. Thank you so much for logging in. This is Kathy Castro, and welcome back to my channel. Tonight, we are going to be talking about marriage goals. Oh, what is it again? Budget marriage goals, right? So, all right, let me just make sure we've got all our techie stuff. We've got our banner. Let's see. Let's take a look at this banner. All right. And I've got the comment section up. All right. Hello, friends. Erica, thank you so much. You are so sweet. Thank you so much for always supporting me. I've got Camille, my precious daughter, and Jezebel is on. So it looks like everything is good to go. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me well. Looks like everything is working. So, friends, tonight on this session, we're going to be talking about short-term and long-term budget goals in a marriage, in a relationship, or even if you're single, actually. And if you are one of the many that how do I say this? If you are one of the many people that are, have got it all figured out from the financial standpoint, that's great. That's awesome. Then this is the right place for you to join in and share with us, the tips and tricks and things that you guys have been doing. Hi, Atali Gaya. Thank you so much for logging in. You caught me on Facebook. That's good. All right. So let me make sure I'm focusing. Hang on. I've done this. It's a trick that I've figured out because I'm kind of blurry. I can see that. Hang on, friends. Let me see. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I am blurry. Oh, good Lord. Okay. It should focus later on. Hang on. Let's do it one more time. I want to make sure. Okay. So it's not doing it. I don't know what's going on with my camera. Anyway, so while I'm doing this, friends, hang in there, hang in with me, because tonight we are actually going to be joined by my husband, Aristotle Castro. Oh my gosh, I apologize. I don't know what's going on with my camera. Hang on. I heard about these some technical difficulties from live streamers. Oh, see, it kind of blurs out when it fades. Ah. All right, hang on, friends. Let me see if I can fix this. Maybe I'm too far away from the camera. Hang on. There's no magic trick. I can't see myself as blurry. All right, I'm going to keep talking because it's 8:03. Okay, so as I was saying, that if you're one of the many that has got it all figured out, great. Join me tonight. Or watch, if you're watching this on replay, go put your comment section below. And then Jezebel said back away slowly. Okay, let me probably do that. Back away slowly. Okay, let me see if this is going to do the trick. Thank you, Jezebel. I'm clear now. All right, so, but I have been thinking about this in my head, okay, because if you don't get it, if you don't have everything figured out from your budgeting standpoint, then you are in trouble, my friend. You don't have it all figured out, and that's okay. That's the reason why we're doing this session. But the main thing is making sure that you are recognizing that there's a problem, that you are acknowledging that you don't have it figured out, and that's okay, because there's us that are so relatable. We're not super rich, we're not millionaires, we're just a regular couple that has probably, I would say, has gotten off the rat race, and we just want to share with you all the tricks and nuggets and tips and wisdom that we've learned, especially from my husband. And so it's okay. We can go ahead and talk it over. Now, friends, if you have not subscribed in my channel, go ahead and support me. I'm not getting paid by YouTube. No one's paying me. It's basically just really dedicating some good quality time with you, friends, with all the YouTuber communities, content creator or not. And, I just really, really appreciate everything that YouTube as a platform to offer all the people like me and also the viewers like you, my friends, that can get free nuggets and free information, with tons of wisdom that you can get from YouTube platform. All right, so let's go ahead and get it started. I am going to bring on board my other half, Mr. Aristotle Castro. So let me go ahead and bring him. There you go.
Hello, guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me
Right.
again.
Thank you for spending your half an hour, babe, with me. I am going to
You're
move
welcome.
my camera because I like that picture showing. If you don't know, hi, Potter Lego Builder Yeet. Thank you so much for liking in. Appreciate your time. We're not talking about Harry Potter tonight, but we're talking about budget in a relationship or even if you're single. Mr. Aristotle Castro is my other half and has been, and the only one for the past 19 years. So we have been married for 19 years, going on 20 next year, and
Right.
we've gone through ups and downs. So just a quick reminder, my friends, if you haven't browsed through my channel, you can go look at the different playlists that we have. Mr. Castro has joined me in several live stream sessions to kind of help us out understand a bit more about financial situation. And so if you want to see us some more, go ahead and look into that, into the playlist. And you can listen to our live streams. Our live streams are kind of long, but that's okay because it serves as a mini podcast. And you can listen to us while you're washing dishes, building your Lego, or
Right.
doing Harry Potter stuff, right? Or cleaning the house or whatnot, or maybe driving on your way to wherever. You can listen to us, and I hope you get some, tips and nuggets from our live stream sessions. Hi, Ellie Skatula. Thank you so much for logging in. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. All right. So tonight, friends, we are talking about budget goals in a marriage, in a relationship, or even if you are single. We're going to talk about short-term goals, and hopefully we can get to the long-term goals. By the way, if you have any questions or any comments or any suggestions, go ahead and put it on the chat box. And if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and put it on the comment section, my friend, and we will respond to you as soon as possible. So let's get it on. I've got 8:08 right now. Now, before we get started, I'm going to call Mr. Castro Babe because that's what we call each other. So before we get started in depth about our short-term goal, I do want to just quickly do a rewind on our previous live streams about communication and about I think it's budgeting 101. I can't remember the session that we did. So communication is very important in a relationship. In a marriage, or if you have a fiance, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatnot, it's very, very important. So before you can get into a good lineup of your budgeting in your relationship, you have to make sure that you guys can communicate really well. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, you can go look into my live session on that. But knowing your income and liabilities are very, very important. Basically, you grab a piece of paper and then line up your income and liabilities, and then you'll know where you stand,
Right.
because you can't do things blindly, right? You can't just go on and on and on and on without really getting a good accounting. The good thing about the financial piece is that you don't need to know algebra, right? Or statistics. Oh, maybe statistics, sure. But simple math, concept is you just really need, plus, minus, and multiplication, I guess, is what you would just need. But you need to know, and you have to acknowledge that, and you need to accept that that's your income and liabilities. Because if you don't, you're not going to be able to move forward. You're going to get into debt. So, on point with that, part of our short-term goal tips and nuggets is to pay off your debts. What are some of the debts that are out there? I remember when we just first started, when we first got married, a lot of our debts are, of course, we have the car notes. We were renting in an apartment. and then we have credit cards.
Right.
And you name it. We have the big credit cards like Citibank, and then we also have the little ones like Macy's. What else do
That's
we have?
why.
Like Best Buy.
Yeah.
Those little credit card companies. So, what is your recommendation, Mr. Castro, aka Babe? What is your recommendation in paying off credit cards?
Like what we talked about in the first session that we had, you can start paying up from the smallest from the smallest debt that you have, and then you gradually move up to the to the second highest one until you pay off all of them.
So
Yeah.
basically, what you need to do is gather all of your credit card accounts.
Yes, you have to gather all of them, of course, yes, and then start paying up the smallest one until you finish all of them. So, and you can, like, let's say you're paying $200 on each one of them. Once you pay up the smallest one, you can allot that amount from the first one and just write it to the next one until you accomplish all of them.
So
So,
basically, what we're saying is if you have, let's say, if you have four credit cards, okay, and you're paying $100, let me see, four credit cards. Okay, maybe this is right, right?
right.
Four credit cards, and you're paying $100 on this card, and you paid it off. There you go, it's paid off. So this card, instead of paying $100 minimum, you're basically going to transfer the budget that you have paying this off, which is
The
$100.
previous,
You're gonna roll that over, right?
yes, you're gonna roll that over. You're gonna roll that the first one that you paid off. You're gonna roll over that payments to the next one. So you gradually do the same way until you've paid up all of them.
So we've got $100 here. We already paid this off,
Right.
and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the $100 that were allotted here
Yes.
to this credit card here, so we can pay it off. So instead of $100 paying on this one, we're gonna do $200,
Yes.
right? And then $100, $100. So once this is paid off, now you've got $200 extra plus the $100 allotted here. So you're going to be paying $300. So, like Mr. Castro said, it doesn't mean that you paid off the smallest balance credit card debt. It doesn't mean that that's your free money. All your credit card debts are not free money at all. I mean, they're your debts, and even if you pay them off, actually, let me take that back. If you paid off a credit card, and so you have, like, you get the statement and it says, oh, congratulations, Miss Castro, you have $10,000 worth of what do you call them, the credit line.
Credit limit.
Credit limit.
Credit line or credit limit, yes.
You have $10,000 credit limit on your credit card. We actually know someone that uses the credit card as their vacation money. They think that's a savings account. They think it's a checking account. No, it's not. It should never be. The credit card should never be seen or accounted for free money for your spending
Right.
extravagance, or
Pleasure.
extravaganza, or whatever vacation you're thinking of. It's not supposed to be like that. Remember, our goal is to pay off your debts. Pay off the credit card first, right? The credit card debt. So how many credit cards does a typical household? How many credit cards do you guys do you think a typical household has? Like maybe three or four?
Probably like three or four or more. I used to work with this lady when I used to work in the government. She had like more than 10 credit cards.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. So this lady, she was my supervisor, and uh, she doesn't know how to. I mean, although she makes that money, she doesn't know how to pay them off.
Yeah.
So financial education is very important. So you can be making more money, but at the end of the day, if you don't know how to manage your money, Like they said, it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's how much you save at the end of the day. So so the more, I mean, the fastest way you can pay up your debts or liabilities, what I call, the better for you. So pay them off, and then what we did in with Kathy and I, we were in trouble back in the days too. We owned so much credit cards, and also we owed two car payments. We basically owed 100 something thousand basically. So
That's
what we
right.
did, we paid them off. We simplified our financial, and then we started saving and simplified our financial, and then we tried to maximize the investment at the same time, because you can't invest unless you pay up all those liabilities. You can, but it wouldn't make sense investing and then you're paying a lot of interest at the same time. It wouldn't make sense, because you won't be. I mean, it seems like you're not doing anything. Paying all these high interest credit cards, you're trying to put money on your 401k or annuity, or what do you call it, or mutual fund. It doesn't make sense at all. So it's like you're not doing anything. You're not going anywhere. So pay up all the liabilities, and then simplify your financial, and then maximize your potential of investing.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's kind of. I think I'm going too fast, right?
No, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what struck me the most is when you said we owed pretty much $100,000
We
just for the
owed
cars,
we
and
we
those
owed
cars,
we owed more than that actually.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, because that's an automatic. Those are automatic debts. I mean, a typical car here in the United States can cost about, I don't know, maybe 35,000 for like Toyota, a regular Toyota, but most of the time you want to upgrade and you want this and that, and it can cost about 50,000 once you get out of the car dealership. And if you're paying for two car notes, and
Hmm.
each car note has about each car's principal, what do you call that, debt, is about 50 to 60,000 dollars. So yeah, you'll owe more than $100,000 just on car notes,
Yes.
right?
A
Yeah.
typical nice car now these days at least $40,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
A basic
Ate
car.
Ligaya said, yeah, I'm sorry. Ate Ligaya said it's not how much you earned, but how you spend your money. Very good point, Ate Ligaya. Ate Ligaya and I used to work together at the hospitals. Thank you so much for
Right.
tuning in. Absolutely, it's how much you spend, right? And we see a lot of people, they do that. So if you're in the beginning of your marriage, and and these are your habits of expenses, well, 5 years down the line, you're still
Hmm.
going to be on the same boat, or
Right.
perhaps even on a sinking in a boat.
Right.
Right. So I like that. So paying down your credit card debts, absolutely, and paying down your car note, right? So what else do we have for? I think I have my notes here. Oh yeah, in the first year or first 2 years of your marriage or relationship, or if you're single, from today, how are you going to do your budgeting goals from today, a year from now? For your budgeting goals from a year from now or 2 years from now. How are you going to set that up? You can't just be working nilly willy and spending things nilly willy, right? So I know from our personal experience, because if you think about it, the math doesn't calculate. So I know how much I'm getting paid, and I know these are these are the payments that I'm doing. There's really no way for me to get ahead of the game. I can't really pay anything more than the minimum payment on each credit card. There's really no way. That means my family's not going to eat. That means, I can't have this and blah, blah, blah. And we're going to talk about frugal living in a little bit. But I know for us, what we personally did is if you need to work a part time job on top of your full time job, whoever has the ability to do that from the time management standpoint, doesn't matter if it's going to be your husband or your wife or whoever, if you have the ability to do that from the time management, go ahead and get an extra job, an
Right.
extra PRN job, to help you out pay off your debt. What is your recommendation on that, Mr. Castro?
Yeah, I mean, it is to pay off your, like you said, if your income isn't enough, of course you won't be able to pay those debt that you accumulated. So if, I mean, either you or your wife, if you can, because it's going to be a short-term goal. I mean, you can work for like a year or two. You can get a part-time job for that, long period of time, and just to knock out those liabilities, because the faster you can pay those off, the better for your family. I mean, you can, once you pay those off, like I said, you basically simplified your financial, and then from there, once you pay this off, trust me, you can even create a passive, I mean, a cash flow or dividend, kind of like a dividend within your salary.
Mhm.
So you will have a surplus in your salary itself. So, and from there, of course, you've learned all that lesson, right? It's a big learning. So I hope you don't accumulate it again. I hope from there you're better, right? So from there you can add more on you. If you're investing in 401k, you can add more money in there, or you can take vacation and reward yourself. Or at the same time, you want, if you, I mean, once, just keep on saving, because there's going to be a good investment. There's going to be a door that's going to open up, an investment that's going to open up in the future, and you can take advantage of that. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. That I think there's three things that kind of struck me from what you were saying. There's the part time, of course. I want to I want to add into that, and then cash flow within your income, and also rewarding yourself. We've got a very good comment here from our friend Erica. It would be amazing to set up some side hustle that can be done remotely, especially given the current situation. Absolutely. There's
yes,
I know there's a lot of side hustles that you guys can do remotely, even a home officing from a home
yes,
officing standpoint right now with the COVID situation. I think I'm going to go ahead and research on that. Thank you so much for that very, very awesome comment, Erica. I think I'm going to go ahead and research on that, maybe feature that on some of my videos to kind of show people, what are some of the side hustles that you can do while working from home, right? But I want to go back to but stick with us, friends. I know, I mean, I really appreciate your time, but stick with us because we want to talk a little bit more about, we're just on tip number one. But I want to expand on the part time. We did that, like Mr. Castro said. Make sure that you have an end point. Not, it doesn't mean that you're going to work two jobs forever and ever, amen. Because we know people that
you don't want to do that.
we
You
know
don't
we
want you don't want to make that as a mandatory for yourself.
I
So
know we know
yeah,
people that does that, and
man, it's crazy.
our heart aches for those people that we know. I mean, why do you do that to yourself? You buy a car, and you're going to pay for that car for 5, 6 years, and your reward to yourself, because you thought that's your birthday gift for yourself, right? That you bought a car, but but then you ended up just making yourself sacrifice and working two jobs for 5 years so you can
Right,
pay off
right,
the car. It's a bad investment, in all honesty. If you can afford it, great. But if you're gonna have to work for it for
right.
two jobs, and then after that one, you still can't get enough of it, you add another car. Anyway, I'm going off the topic, but our personal um, input on that we just want to share with you, my friends, is that when Mr. Castro and I were paying off our debts, we sat down. It was painstaking. We sat down, we looked at our numbers, and I was like this. I didn't want to look at it. I was like this. And I didn't want to look at the numbers that are being shown to me, but you have to do it. You have to do it. Otherwise, you're not going to move forward. You're going to be miserable because you're in debt. You're going to be miserable because you have to work a lot and you can't get things, get started with your life because all you do is work, 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 pay, 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 work, 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 pay, pay, pay. That's not how life should be. So, our personal experience. Yes, we sat down, we looked at our numbers, we looked at our income and liabilities. You know what? It's not enough. I got to pick up another job. Being in the healthcare, I'm a nurse by trade. Being in a healthcare system, I can pick up jobs anytime. I can do a lot of part times. And so we sacrificed our time for a whole year, my friends, a whole year. We're talking about, oh, I bumped the table. We're talking about 7 days of work for me. Okay, so we've got the Monday to Friday, okay, my full time job, and then weekends is picking up supervisory position in a facility. But the beauty of that is there's an end to it. After a year, and we did it. We just worked ourselves and we paid off everything that we can. In that way, we can reward ourselves at the end of our goal. And that was it. And I wish all these things that we're talking about, I wish we had known this in the early beginning stages of our marriage life, right?
Right.
Because I think we just did that about, I would say about 10 years ago. We're like turning 20 years next year. So
Right.
the first 10 years of our married life, we just did nilly willy. There we go with car after another, a Lexus and whatever, whatever. You name all those big cars, you just got to work for it. Anybody can do it. You just got to work for it.
Right. You can, but there is a I mean, you at the end of the day, you're liable for that action.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
if you, I mean, let me expand on the working. If you're gonna work more, make sure that you're working for a goal that will um, that will produce something for you in the future. Because Kathy and I, we feel sorry for people that keeps working and then at the end of the day, they don't have anything for show. No money at the 401k. They're even tapping the 401k just to, I don't know what they're doing with their money, but I just feel sorry for them because they work two jobs forever. Because what they did is just racking up liabilities, buying things that they don't need. So you don't want to do that, my friend. That's the reason why we're saying we're sharing this with you. In that way, you don't do what we did, and in that way, you can, I mean, you can be better with your financial at the early stages better. So I mean, Kathy and I nowadays we talk about it where we came from. It's like it was crazy. We didn't. I mean, we didn't have any plan at all. We just on our days off, we just went to the mall. We buy cars whenever we want to. We just trade in the cars whenever we like to. But we, I mean, we paid for that. So we had to learn. We had to research for information. I had to read books. I had to attend some excuse me workshops. So because the information that we had, it was not working at all. So so
Very true.
I'm glad that we can share information with this with YouTube like like this session. So and I'm also glad that I can share this information with my I'm in real estate. As Kathy know, it's my full time job. It's my profession in real estate, and I share this to my clients. And I even tell my clients, buy the house that you can afford. In that way, you can spend more time in your house instead of spending more time at work. So buy the house that you can afford because you're gonna be. I mean, you have to be investing. You have to be saving. You have to be saving money for your kids for college, and then also for your retirement at the same time. So
Right.
it's been great.
All right, let's move on to frugal living. So we talked about paying down your credit card debts in depth. And so now I want to talk about frugal living. So a little while ago, we were listening to Dave Ramsey, and Dave Ramsey, if you guys don't know who he is, he's a Christian financial guru. He
Right.
speaks at a church, and he's phenomenal. And Dave Ramsey said that, you know what, if you have to eat rice and beans every day, go ahead and eat rice and beans every day. It's not literally saying that, right? It's just to
Right.
make sure that you are spending less than what you make, because
Exactly.
a lot of us spend more than what we make. And that's the reason why you have to depend on credit card, you have to depend on having two jobs forever and ever, amen, right? So frugal living. So what can you add on that, Mr. Castro, about frugal living? Shopping, eating out, things like that.
Um, like you said, I mean, don't spend more than you may beyond your means, and don't buy the thing. I mean, if you're paying your liabilities, your debt, don't buy. Don't keep buying things. Make sure I mean, you pay up all your debts first before you. I mean, and also don't take vacations if you're in financial trouble. I mean, I believe in delay gratification, but we didn't know that even before we didn't even know that. But accomplish, pay all your bad debts. Bad debts means money that takes away from your savings, from your checking, that takes money away every month. Pay those off, and once you pay those off, you I mean keep save money. You can go on vacation if you want to. You can. I mean, it's okay to buy Louis Vuitton if you want to, and Lacoste, Armani shirt if you want to, but make sure you're paying cash for that. Don't put them in your credit card and then not pay it off. So if you're using, it's okay to use credit card now these days once you pay up all your liabilities, which is what we do. We use our credit cards and they reward us with mileage and also cashback. But you have to be disciplined with that though. At the end of the month, you want to pay up the whole amount that you spent. You still have to watch what you're spending.
Mhm,
If you're not good at that, I wouldn't recommend that. Just pay cash for it.
mhm,
If you're gonna buy something, if you're not disciplined paying your credit cards, nope, you're gonna go back. You're gonna go back. Trust me. So what you're gonna do? Just use cash instead. So I'll just pay up all your liabilities first. That's my recommendation. So, and don't spend beyond what you make, like Kathy said. Make sure minimize your liabilities and spend less than what you make.
mhm. Absolutely. And as far as eating out all the time, or even maybe treating a bunch of your friends, you want to minimize that. We're talking about frugal living. If you need to buy food at the grocery store and cook at home, which is healthy,
Right.
go ahead and do that. You don't have to eat out every weekend, every Thursday, Friday, or every Saturday, Sunday. You don't have to eat out. Weekends can be, or whenever you have a day off, those days off should be a time with family, a time where you guys can cook together. My
Hmm.
very good friend here, John's Kitchen, they are professional chefs and they live in Singapore. And if you have time, go ahead and check out their channel. They have simple recipes that are so quick to follow, and so you'll enjoy their recipes and just enjoy some snippets of their family life on their channel. Hi, Asian American Legal Focus. You added your legal on your channel name. Thank you for logging in, my friend. That is another friend of mine that she's a lawyer and she has a lot of tidbits and just a lot of information about legal stuff. So I appreciate her channel so much. But anyway, so talking about frugal living. You don't have to eat out all the time, like I said. I think we're at fault at doing that past few months. And absolutely, due to COVID, you don't have to go out. And here my friend says that due to COVID they've saved a lot of money, no longer eating out every day. Absolutely, I think we're
Hmm.
the same thing. We've minimized our eating out. But going back to that frugal living, pre or post COVID, you should be able to look into your finances. If you feel like you're working a lot, you got to reward yourself, you got to treat your family, you got to go out to a restaurant. It doesn't have to be that way. You can do a nice backyard barbecue treat for your family on your days off. You can definitely do that. So making sure that you're spending less than what you make,
What you mean?
and lessen your eating out. Grocery Do some grocery shopping and cook with your family, and have some good quality time with your family. And again, if you are in that situation where you have a lot of debts, you're paying off, like if you're doing a double job, you have a job and a half, make sure you have an end date and not doing that forever and ever. So that's right. Especially as a family, eating out can be a big expense. That's my friend Erica saying that it is. And, it's like even with our kids are so picky. They want to eat out at nice restaurants. You got to
Mm.
make sure that you're able to discipline the whole family and letting them know that you shouldn't be spending that much. When I was growing up, I just want to share this. When I was growing up, it was never discussed with us. We can't do this, we can't do that. We don't have money. I think because I'm from the Philippines. I'm Asian. I don't know if it's a culture thing. Hi Rochelle, thank you for logging in. This is my friend from the Philippines. I don't know if it's a culture thing. We were never told that we don't have money. I don't know if it's just a pride from my parents that they don't want to tell their children that we don't have money. So it's okay to go ahead and spend this, go eat there, go buy this and that. But with our family, with Mr. Castro and I, we tell our kids are middle schoolers, we tell our kids, this is the reason why we can't buy this because this, yada, yada, yada. Want to make sure, or we want to make sure that they know what's going on. The earlier, the better. And that way they don't have that misconception that they're just going to do things, they want to have things, even though it doesn't make sense, right?
Right.
So I think those are some of the things, just from a short term goal, making sure that you are sitting down, knowing your income and liabilities, writing down your goal, 1 to 2 years, 1 to 5 years. And friends, you are not going to achieve this if you haven't done the comfort zone of communication with your partner. Or if you're single, comfort zone of communicating to yourself, because you have to acknowledge your income and liabilities if you're single. If you're too blinded by your pride, if you're too in denial, okay, we call it self-denial. If
Mhm.
you're in so much denial about your financial grade, your financial score, then you're
Mhm.
not going to get anywhere. You're not going to be debt free. So you want to make sure that we start off with clear communication, clear understanding first, then sit down, tally out your income and liabilities, and put a plan,
Mhm.
actionable and attainable plan on how to pay off your debts. That's
Right.
the budget 101. Pay off your debts, frugal living. Is that all we have on our short-term goal? What about, I have 8:38, my friends. Let me see if we can introduce a bit of long-term goal, and then I think we're gonna continue it next week. We'll see how it goes. Long-term goal. We're talking about who? Are you ready, my friends? Are you really ready? Emergency funds. Okay. What else do we have? Savings, cash flow within your income. Mr. Castro already mentioned cash flow within your income. Let's go back to that one. What do you mean by cash flow within your income, Mr. Castro?
Budgeting. Make sure you're not spending beyond your income. So, like you and I, we we used to use our both our salaries, right? So when we minimize our liabilities, we were basically just now these days we we free up one of the income, right? So instead of using them both. So that's what I meant with with what do you call it, cash flow,
Cash
or cash flow within the income. So our cash flow is like 50% of our income. So people now these days you could only create cash flow with rental properties or dividend with your mutual funds or shares stocks. No, start creating cash flow within your income. If you can do that, it's even better. That's when you pay up all your liabilities and simplify your income. You can create that. You can create that as long as you don't you I mean you simplify it and budget it, and you don't go above your you will be able to accomplish it. So that's what I meant, creating cash flow within your income. So having a surplus within your income. If you're single, if you can do that, oh boy, you're gonna really do well. If you can create a lot of surplus within your income, or if you're married like us, and then that surplus you can maximize that. You can either invest that in real estate, or you can invest it in you can buy shares, company shares, mutual funds, or you can keep saving it, and you can even invest it in annuities if you want to. So that can help you out for your retirement, future retirement.
That is awesome. You know, one of our friends asked us, well, actually, I wasn't part of that conversation. It was just Mr. Castro. And they asked him, what do you mean by cash flow within your income? And after he had explained about it, their response was, oh man, we wish we had known about that a long, long time ago. And absolutely, like I said, friends, and I think we're gonna stop here because it's 8:42. Like I said, my friends, these type of sessions, the one that we're doing right now, I wouldn't really know these things that Mr. Castro is talking about if we weren't communicating, if we weren't open, if he hasn't been even reading financial books. These financial books, you know, like I heard today, if you look at behind Mr. Castro, we've got a lot. He's got a lot of financial books right there. These authors have compiled their life story, their 4, 5, 10 years of life story in being financially free into condensed in
Right.
a small book like that you can read in about 3, 4 hours. Right? That is amazing. That's a treasure box. You can
It
get a
is.
lot of nuggets free. Well, you buy those books like for what, 15, 20, $30 worth of, they're
You
like,
can get you can go to Hot Bookstore and get them as well
absolutely,
for
they're so
less than
reasonably cheap.
$20.
And the amount of wisdom that you're going to get is incredible. It's more than the amount that you paid for those books,
Right.
1,000,000,000 times more. So, mindset is very, very important. We've dealt with, we talked to some people over the week, and we talked about mindset shift from being an employee to being an entrepreneur. We have that one. This individual said, well, I worked so hard. I worked so hard last month. I was supposed to be netting $7,000, right? And how much did I take home? Just $4,000.
$4,000.
$4,000.
And she got offended because you're an employee, you're the biggest taxpayer, and she was offended about that. She said,
Right.
"What do you mean?" Well, if you're an entrepreneur, you're gonna have, or a business person, you have a lot of leverage with taxes. You can write up so much. As an employee, I told her you're limited with write-offs. So employees are the biggest taxpayers, and I had to explain it to her thoroughly. And when she understood it, she was like, "Is that why?" She said, "Is that why Trump doesn't pay taxes or Jeff Bezos?" I told her exactly. But these people are helping a lot of people. They're employing thousands of people. I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. They're good people. It's just they have the leverage. They have to leverage within their business.
Right.
So
Right.
she
We're
was kind
not.
of she was not happy about that. But at the same time, hey, you know what? They're employing thousands of people, so they just have that advantage as an entrepreneur.
Right.
And I think she picked it up. She understood it. So
Yes. So it's a
um,
mindset shift. Working a lot doesn't mean that you're going to take all that money, right, home with you. So, but if you don't have to work a lot because you've already paid off your debts, then don't. Balance your time. Family is very, very important. I wouldn't trade time with work. I don't want, from Dave Ramsey's words, you don't you want to master money. You don't want money to master you.
yeah,
Okay. You don't want to be a slave
yeah,
at work, so you got to make sure you know how to balance that out. I love this comment here from our Asian American legal focus friend. Great dialogue. I agree that it is very important for both spouses to be on the same page about spending and saving. Yes, absolutely. And we had so many other live stream sessions about communication is very important. Of course, we do love each other. We're just not financial partners, right? We do love each other. We've been married for 19 years. So I think, friends, we're going to stop right here because we're going to go on and on and on and on, and we don't want to do that. But I hope you got the nuggets and some great tips from our session tonight. I know we talk about budgeting most of the time now, and it's because whatever is truly working for us may work for you. It
definitely.
may help you. We know people that are in trouble. We know family members that are in financial trouble. We know friends that are in financial trouble. And we don't want you to be in that financial trouble.
Right.
Why? You don't have to be. If I can only give you tons of money, I don't even think that's a good idea, because if I give you money, you're not going to know what to do with it, right? There was a friend that friended me on Facebook. Oh, this is funny, just from a personal little side story. There's a friend that friended me on Facebook. This person we have not spoken in years, decades, and requested a friend request on Facebook. And so I was like, oh well, maybe she'll turn into a subscriber to my channel, right? So I went ahead and accepted her friend request, and then she sent me a message and she said, hello, my friend. I was wondering if you can lend me some money because I'm going to open up a small business in my area and I needed some capital. Didn't even say hi, didn't even say hello, how are you doing? And the first thing that you're going to ask me is to lend you money. Folks, if you are starting a business and you don't have a capital, then it means you don't have to start a business because you don't have capital for it.
Don't try to open a don't try to open up a business if you're in financial trouble. That's a wrong move.
Right,
Right.
right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So anyway, so it is 8:48. So I think we are going to go ahead and conclude our live session. We enjoyed our time with you. I love the interaction. Friends, if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and put your comment, put your suggestion at the comment down below. And don't forget to look into my channel, look at the different playlist over there. If you love Harry Potter stuff, go ahead and binge on that if you want to. I see Erica's comment. That is terrible. Some friend. That's the downside of Facebook. That's true. That's why I'm very careful if I'm going to accept the friends or the friend request or not. But anyway, going back to that one, if you want to see more of our sessions here with us interacting together, go ahead and look up my playlist on my channel. As a reminder, friends, you don't hurt my feelings or you don't hurt anything by watching my videos. YouTube doesn't pay me at this point of time. We are in 2020. And for all the other small YouTubers there, appreciate all my friends that are on right now. For all the other small YouTubers, friends, it's all right. You can watch my videos. It's okay. And these are free information. Don't worry about the watch hours. We just really want to share what's working for us.
Right.
And I hope that you can get some tips and nuggets. You can apply some of these things to your own personal life. And maybe perhaps, if you know somebody, a family member, a friend that will benefit from my live sessions. Any last minute just takeaway from you, Mr. Castro, before we conclude, finally conclude?
Well, going back to eliminating debts, if you're planning, if your goal is to eliminate all your bad debts, stop buying things until you pay up all your bad debts. Trust me. And don't buy anything if you're all set with your financial. Do not buy anything you can afford. So, and if you are in good shape with your financial, uh, start investing. Start investing. In that way, it will be great for your future. Thank you so much for having me again.
All right. Thank you, babe. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you downstairs. Friends, if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to do that. Please like at the bottom, hit that like button, and push that notification bell so you can get notified on my next video. Thank you for joining us for tonight, and we hope to see you back again. Take care. Bye.
Bye.